Well, hello there. Welcome to your workout. Coming in hot right here. Let's do some lower body, shall we? All right, let's get warmed up first. We're doing some leg swings first, so if you want to stabilize yourself on something, you may. Let's go for 30 seconds on that one. Here we go. So you can go ahead and hold on to something, preferably not something low or not too high, maybe a wall or something else stable in your mid-range here. After you get a few swings on one side, get a swing on the other side. Nice controlled range of motion here. Might kind of have to lift up a little bit in order to get that swing and not snag your foot on the floor. Kind of got to lift the hip a tiny bit without getting too misaligned. All right, now we're moving on to hurdles. So let's go ahead and open up the hip, bring it back. Same thing on the other side, open it up, bring it back. I'm Coach Jelena. I neglected to mention right at the start there. We are doing an lower body workout. So if you have a stool that's stable, maybe it's got some grip on the bottom, a chair that's braced up against something, it's not gonna slide around, or if you do have a plyo box, you're gonna need one of those for today. Alrighty, external shoulder rotations. So let's take those elbows back, rotate, slide up, and come back down. If you're feeling a little stiff, this is a good one to kind of wake you up, especially maybe you slept a little bit wrong on the neck or shoulders. Might want to adjust how your sleep posture is, or maybe the amount or type of pillow you have. But this is a nice way to get yourself all ready to go. Kind of counteract all the typing at the computer or texting that we do. Open it up. Very nice. All right, moving on to a squat and a little jump twist. So you're gonna sit into a squat nice and center, and then get a little jump twist to the side. If you need to modify that one, squat, and then just get a little pivot in. If you need to rotate your whole self, you can. If you're comfortable with a little twist, as long as your back and knees are okay, get that little twist in there for your torso. Otherwise, you're sitting into it and getting that nice rotation from the hips. And we are doing a 2-station freestyle today. Every exercise is gonna go for 35 seconds long. You're moving on to leg swings now. Go ahead and get these going. I'll do this one with you, and then you're gonna continue on through the warm-ups while I show you the exercises, which are on this other board to my left here. So 35 seconds each exercise, that's the duration. We're gonna go for each of the first 2 stations, have 2 moves at them. You're gonna go for 35 seconds each move, 3 rounds. So those are gonna be the same pattern. And then we're gonna keep that timing for the freestyle station, the 3rd station, but it's 4 moves at that one. So it's gonna feel like one big long station there. Moving on to your hurdles again, open it up and come back and then get the other side. Okay, so for the first one here, you don't necessarily need weights. A box squat jump. So for this one, I'm gonna show you from the side and from the front there. You're gonna sit back into a squat here, and you're going to tap the back of your legs or your glutes there to the box, and then get a jump in or a roll to the toes if you're modifying. Move on to your external shoulder rotations, or if you need some more leg stretches, you could do some hamstring pulls or army squats, straight leg squat, straight leg reach, and then squat. So here's your box squat jump from the front to show you that one. And then for our lateral step over, you're going to put one foot on. So obviously if this was a chair, you'd want to have the back of the chair here so you have space to go over the sides and over the back. Or if you have a stable lower chair. So you're gonna step up over and then bring that other foot down and then back up over. So you're switching which foot is on top. Move on to your squat and jump twist. So that's station 1. Station 2, we're gonna come on down to the elbows, or you're welcome to be on your chaired surface on the elbows here. And you're in a plank, so you're making sure your hips aren't too high or dip down too low. So you're nice and flat, and then you're going to flex the leg and squeeze and lift, squeezing the glute, getting a nice alternating kick back here. So that is move number 1 at station 2. You're moving on to your leg swings, please. Second one here is a seated butterfly. So if you have a band, you're gonna incorporate it here for this station, and you're gonna put that, well, for the first move, it could be around the calves or the thighs. The second move, it's gonna be around the thighs, just above the knees. You're gonna get a nice lean forward. So if you were to see me from this angle, I have space so that I can come forward, and I'm waving those knees out and stretching that band. If you don't have a band here, I'm gonna grab one and show you when the station comes. If you don't have a band to stretch out, you're moving on to your hurdles, I believe. If you don't have a band, then you're just going to sit into a squat and get a nice pulse squat in here for the second exercise. Next, we are working with weights for at least a couple here. So if you have weights, if you don't have any weights, then don't worry about it necessarily. But you can do a goblet hold, or you can have weights over your shoulders, but you will be using a lot of balance here. So try not to do anything that'll throw off your balance. Moving on to external shoulder rotations, I'll show you without the weight first. So we're gonna do a pistol squat with the right leg lifted. So just with arms, sitting those hips back, have a seat for a second, and then stand it back up. If it's too hard for you to hover the foot, try to hover it on the way down, and then set that heel down, get a little momentum to stand on up. And the way you would add the weight in here would be that lifted leg. Go ahead and sit it down, and then stand it up. You'll get the hang of that one. You may need to change the height of whatever surface you're sitting on. Back to your squat and jump twist, please. So we'll do that on the right leg and then on the left leg, and then your step up switch. You're gonna place one foot on top of the box and then press into it and jump switch, tap that foot down, and then come back down. If you're slowing this one down to modify, tap it down and tap it down. And then last one would be a step up where you can incorporate your weight again. You're gonna put one foot on here. Please move on back to your leg swings. Put one foot fully on top, no hanging off heels here. You're gonna press into that leg, get a full extension, and then control, come back down. So you're gonna be on one side here for round one, other leg for round two, and then alternate half and half for round three. If you are advancing that one, then you can definitely do a box squat if you have a stable surface to do this at home. Make sure you're safe, but you're going to prepare for a jump, bring yourself up and land, and then step back down nice and careful. All right, we're ready to go. We're ready to blow our own minds right here. I'm gonna set up the clock, grab your water, grab a sip. We're gonna go with just the stair or step, or stool, whatever you have first. And again, 35 seconds. Grab a band if you have one. We'll use it for station 2 only. So you're good here. Go ahead and move that weight out of the way for this first one here. All right, we're gonna go for that box squat jump. 35 seconds of fun coming in 3, 2, here we go. So sit those hips back. You're not super far from the box and your knees aren't going forward. So you're pretty close to it. Go ahead and tap the back of the thighs or the glutes down. I'm tapping the back of my thighs. You can roll to the toes. So here I am right here, showing you in the front. Tap it down. This is giving you a great marker to work with, so you're making sure to hit that awesome depth every time. Nice work. Set those hips back. There you go. Keep those heels planted as you sit into that squat. We're rocking the first set of 35 seconds. Woo-woo. Go us. All right. Now we're gonna do that lateral step over. Make sure you have a solid surface that you're working on. Step it up and step it over here. If you don't have anything safe to work off of, then go ahead and give me those single-legged shuffles right here, where you reach out, same arm, same leg. Otherwise, you're pressing in, stepping up and over. Nice. You can pump those arms. Doing good. If you have a lower surface, you can do more reps, higher. It's gonna take a little bit longer, especially if you got shorter legs like myself. Last few seconds here. Take it up one more time. Woo! Okay, we're going back to those box squat jumps. Ready? Here we go. We're either jumping or rolling to the toes. Whichever one you're doing, make sure you got a good focus. You're sitting those hips back. You're making sure the knees aren't going forward. You're sitting back. You're not too far from the surface that you're tapping on here. Give yourself a marker. Even if you're not using a step for that second exercise, give yourself a marker, maybe a couch or something else in your home or your garage or your backyard, wherever you're at. Let's go, let's go. Burn, leg burn. Woo, okay. We're going up and over. Ready? Here we go. Press into that leg. One's always on top. And then if you don't have something, you're right here. But we are gonna use a chair for those pistol squats. I want everybody to try this one. Find a good height for you. Nice work. Oh yeah. Getting it done right here. We are on, finishing up round 2. We got a good heart pump happening. We got less than 10 seconds. Keep breathing. So close. Give me a couple more right here. There it is. Woo, okay. Last time on that box squat jump. Let's go ahead and hit that nice bottom depth. So you're going to try to take it upward, catch yourself, and tap back down. So try not to stop at the top and then think about your next move. Sit into it, come on up, cushion the landing, go right into the next rep. That's what you want to do. There it is. Woo-hoo. All right, we got 10 seconds. You're getting it done now. We just have that lateral step over next. Keep breathing. You're close. Woo! All right, almost. Very nicely done. Whew, yeah. Okay, we're ready to go lateral. I'm going to show you one here. And then if you don't have any equipment that works well for that one, reach out the right arm, the right leg, and then switch. See if you can touch the floor. Otherwise, find another marker, something to reach for, maybe your water bottle. Try to hit that same depth each time. Good. There's lots of work going on for your legs here. We're gonna grab a sip of water in just 10 seconds. So keep breathing well, keep pumping those legs. You got this. Leg day, ooh. All right, good one, everybody. Nice. Let's grab that sip of water. If you have a band, we're gonna use it for this next station. I'm gonna show you without, but if you have a small band, go ahead and put it on. You can have a seat on your surface, step into it. I'm gonna grab mine right quick. Okay, so we're putting this one on just above the knees if you have it. So for this first one, you can come all the way down to the ground and put your elbows down, or you can stay up on your surface here. Just for ease and transition, I'm gonna stay up on this surface. Elbows down, right underneath the shoulders. Make sure that the hips aren't dipping down, nor are they lifted. They're right in the middle there. You're gonna flex that stationary foot to keep it down. So this one, with or without the band's just gonna create a little resistance for you. If you have it, flex. Think about your glute lifting your leg without hyperextending your back. You don't want to kick super hard and super high. Think about control, controlled lift, controlled lower. You're probably going to get a bigger range of motion if you don't have a band, but ease yourself into it. Last few. All right. Okay, if you have the band here, you're going to have a seat on the box. Scoot yourself back a little bit. Lean forward. Make sure there's space between your knees, and you're going to pulse your knees from neutral to wide, and try not to let them go past that neutral point, which is right over your ankles, right over that line. If you draw an imaginary line down the middle of your toes and ankles, right to your knees, that's your stopping point, and then open it up. If you don't have a band, no problem. Get into a challenging pulse squat. Small range of motion, keep it here. We got 5 more seconds. Either you're doing that seated butterfly or these pulse squats. Whew. So with no band, you're doing those pulse squats. Okay, get back into your low plank. Again, you can be on the floor here with your elbows right underneath your shoulders, or you can be on your elevated surface. Good work, good work. Woo-hoo. Try not to be on your surface and with extended arms, because then that limits your range of motion in your lower body. So come on down, make it a good challenge for that lower body. Flex with control here. I want you to flex at the heel, so that heel is coming up first. You're squeezing that glute. Don't twist your hips. Last few seconds. All right. So if you don't have a band here, you're doing that pulse squat. If you do, have a seat, get some distance between those knees. I want you to lean forward if you do have that band. That makes all the difference. If you're up here versus a couple inches lower with that chest and shoulders, it makes a huge difference for really targeting those glutes. Keep it up here, keep it up. Woo, feeling a burn. Whether you're doing those pulse squats or this seated butterfly, keep it up here. It's burning good, 35 seconds. Oh my goodness, we are earning it. Almost there. Stay steady on course. Stay with me right here. You got this. Woo! All right, we're back in that low plank position, either on the floor or on your elevated surface. Here we go. We're keeping the hips square to the ground so we're not opening up as we lift. We're making sure those hips aren't too low or too high, so we have a nice squeeze in the core. Elbows are right underneath the shoulders, and we're flexing that leg all the way down to the foot. So we're trying to keep a 90-degree angle on the front of your shin to the top of your shoe, maybe a tiny bit sharper. Last few seconds here. Think of that glute, squeezing and lifting the leg. Right leg, left leg here, slow and controlled. Woo! All right, so you're without band, you're doing a pulse squat. Otherwise, you're doing that seated butterfly. Here we go. Here's your pulse squat. For that pulse squat, we're sitting those hips back. Knees are going right over those toes. Keeping the chest up. We want to make sure we don't do forward momentum with those knees. Otherwise, we're doing that seated butterfly. Whoo! Good. Neutral knee to wider. That's what you're going for. Oh yeah. Where we at? Where we at? We got 10 seconds left, and this is our last move before we head on in to the freestyle station. Keep that pump going. Is your chest forward? Let's see it, let's see it. Burning good. Woo! Whether you're doing those pulse squats or that seated butterfly, you are working it. Okay. Everybody, let's work with the chair for at least the first 2 moves. I'll walk you through it if you have knee injuries so that you can still do this move. All right. So if you have injuries, go ahead and do this without a weight. If you're beefing it up a bit, or if you've done pistol squats before, grab that weight. Alrighty, so you're gonna wanna go for a higher surface if you do have knee issues. And what I want you to do is, so in my case, I would tilt this up so I have not as far down to go. So you're gonna leave your heel down if you have knee issues. Try to guide yourself down, and then if the standing up part is what hurts your knees, bring both feet in, and then do like the up part of a squat. Use your muscles to stand up. All right, here we go. Everybody else is going for that one-legged. See if you can keep your heel elevated the whole time. Ready, set, here we go. Right heel is up. We are sitting into it. We got a goblet hold with the weight here. Press into that leg, stand it up. It's okay if you lose your balance after you stand up. You're trying to focus on that balance. There you go. If you need to, you can always sit it down and then let that heel gently rest. Come forward a little bit to help your balance standing up. Most difficult is foot floating on the way down and on the way up. Shoulders are back here. Way to press. Woo! Good. Remember, if you're modifying further, you're watching out for those knees. Okay, we're switching legs now. Let's start in a standing position. You're close to whatever object you're sitting on. And again, if you're modifying for injury, try to either keep it elevated or put that heel down. Guide yourself down, use your muscles, and then you can bring both feet in and help yourself to stand on up. And make sure you're not going too deep into it. We want to make sure we're strengthening your muscles. Nothing is at stake. We're just getting a little burn in, but we're of course not aggravating anything. We want to make sure you're taking care of you, building up all your supportive muscles as best you can so you feel top notch. Okay. For that step up switch, we're gonna start with one foot on. I'm gonna show you one without the box if you're not using one for this one. But if you are, you're gonna have one foot on top at all times. If you slow it down, it's tapping it back, tapping it back. If you don't have a surface, I want you to do some drivers. So you're gonna be at an angle here, knee right over the ankle, Go ahead and draw in that right foot stationary, draw in that left leg. Go ahead and stay here. If you don't have a surface to work with, we'll get your other leg on the next round here. Alrighty, way to pump. No hanging off heels if you're using that surface that you're working off of. Whew, okay. Let's show a step up here with the left foot on. You can do no weight if you need to. You're gonna press into that leg and then come back down. Press into the leg, come back down. You could do a goblet hold, or you can hold that weight nice and long. You can pick here. If you aren't using a weight, that's okay. Press into, stand on a step, stairs, something in your home, press into it, straight leg, and then come back down. If you're doing the advanced box jumps, if you have a stable surface, you're gonna wind up for it, come on up, land, and then step one foot off at a time to come back to start. All right. Okay, so we did them all. That is round one. Now we're gonna do 2 more rounds through. Let's go ahead and have that right leg lifted for your pistol squat. Please try this. Try it out, at least the down. If the up is what hurts your knee. If you're reverse, then use something to help yourself down, like your arms, and then so you stand up on your own. Whatever is not the painful part, let's work with that. Okay, that's only if you have injuries. All right, we got right foot lifted. We're sitting into it. If you're getting used to this move, take the weight out of it. We want to challenge the legs as best as we can. If it's a little tough for you, you can put the heel down for both the lower and the stand up. But if you're somewhere in between, lift that leg, lift that heel for the down, and then set it down for when you come back up. Really a big balance challenge here. Feel those strong muscles working. Woo! Good, you sit it back, and then you gotta kinda come forward a little bit to be able to stand up. It's a little bit of momentum there. Okay, you're close to your surface here. Heels nice and close, left foot lifted, sit it back, and stand it on up. Woo! Good. We wanna try to strengthen ourselves as much as possible. This is an awesome one for really knowing your strength. When you go to sit down and when you stand on up, you wanna have control. Try not to plop down on your couch. You could practice this one every time you have a seat and you get back up, or at least with both feet down, you practice the same type of mechanics here. Woohoo! We're so close. Alrighty, let's do that step up switch. Here we go. If you're doing the drivers, your right foot's going back now. So I want you to lean forward, make a nice diagonal line down your body, and you're driving that knee up, that thigh up as high as you can while you keep a nice little bend in that front leg. Okay, so we have one foot on top. Make sure the heels aren't hanging off. If you're doing it on top of that surface there, just tap that toe back down, and then spring loaded, come right back up, press into that front leg that's on the box there or your elevated surface. Final few seconds to go. Keep pumping those legs. Woo! Okay, so now we're on to our step ups. Right foot is on this time. Here we go. Press into that leg, get that full extension. You're welcome to have the weight alongside that leg. If that throws off your balance, then you can have it on the other side. That's fine. You want to get a good number of reps in, but you will get more work out of that leg on top. Woo! If you have it on the same side there. Nice challenge. Good, you got a few seconds to go. Stay with it right here. Keep pumping those legs. Woo! Okay. Good. Alrighty. Of course, you could have done those box jumps. Forgot to mention that. Forgot to remind you, hopefully you were there and ready for it. We're gonna take a sip of water before we kick off our final round at our freestyle station. Okay, last time with that right foot lifted for that pistol squat. Ready, friends? Here we go. So right foot's up. You're kind of flexing that foot. You're trying to make sure your knee stays neutral. It wants to draw in towards the middle or towards your other leg, but you want to try to make sure that it stays nice and neutral. So what does that mean? That means it's going to be headed in the same direction your toes are pointed, or maybe almost feels like it's going out a little bit. Of course, still feeling aligned with your body. Always you can put that heel down if you need a little balance correction. Almost there. Good, keep breathing. Alrighty, we're switching legs. Let's go for right foot planted, left foot up here. Sit those hips back a little bit, and then come on up. If it's too tough with the weight, remember you can take the weight out of it. If you're having trouble, good. If the depth you chose is too easy, I encourage you to go deeper. If the depth you chose that you're sitting down at is a good depth for you, great. You'll know because you'll feel well challenged on the way down and especially on the way up. All right, way to go, way to go. Close, get that last few reps in right here. Oh yeah. Okay, we're ready for that step up switch. So let's go ahead and start with that left foot on top. If you don't have an elevated surface you're working with here, go ahead and start with that left leg back and give me a driver. And I'm gonna tell you when to switch legs halfway through. All right, starting with one foot on top, we're gonna switch it, press in, tap it back. You can use a set of stairs here. Just make sure you try to get most of your foot on the step and step it back there. Good. All right, you're gonna switch legs if you're doing that driver in 3, 2, 1. So that means you're on the floor here, your right leg's going back, and you're right here. Nice, getting a good leg pump in. That's what I'm talking about. Woo! Big powerhouse muscles are in those legs. We got to challenge them well. We got to work them. Final few seconds right here. Keep that leg pump. Woo! All right, okay. Step ups, let's start with that left leg on top. Here we go. Press into it and bring it down. I'm gonna tell you when you're halfway through so you can switch legs. Of course, you can do this one without the weight. Press into it. Use your stairs if you don't have anything else, or you can use switch legs, everybody, if you haven't already. Bring that right foot on top. You can always do box jumps, bending. Make sure you have a safe surface to work on and step one foot down at a time, kind of winding up to it. You can always start low with this one and work your way up to something like this height. Last couple seconds. Great. Okay. We did it all. We are done with the freestyle station. Grab a sip of water. All we have left is our finisher. So, if you have a mat you want to use, go ahead and grab that. You're gonna lay that out and then get comfortable on it. Go ahead and hang your heels off if you like. All right, all right. And that way, let's go that way. Okay, so if you want to advance this one, you can put your weight on your hips here. If you are doing that, you're gonna get a better burn, but if you're new to this, feel free to try it without, but your glutes are very strong, so you can challenge them. Especially if you only have like a 10 or 15 pound weight, your lower body can totally handle it. Alrighty, so our pattern is we have 2 moves. We're gonna start off with 5 of each of them. Then we're gonna move up and count to 10 of each of them, then 15, then 20. So we're gonna keep adding 5. And here are our 2 moves. I'm gonna put our timer on, set it up here. So notice I have my heels hanging off of my mat. You might wanna do that as well. You have your heels so close to your glutes that you can touch them with your fingertips. Unless your arms are super short, that's okay. But they should be close enough for most people so you can touch them. And then if you're adding the weight, carefully bring it to your hips. You're gonna stabilize it because when you do lift your hips, you don't want that weight rolling towards you. So stabilize it well. If you're worried about that, just take the weight out of it. So you're gonna do a pulse at the top. Make sure you're not pushing to where you're straining your lower back. So how we're gonna prevent that is tuck up under the tailbone. Like if you were a puppy, you've got your tail between your legs, you're tucking up under. Squeezing the glutes right there, and then you're gonna hit the top for 5, and then full range of motion for 5. And then we're gonna go to 10, 15, 20, you got it. Okay, here we go for that pulse. That's what's first. Ready, friends? Here we go. 5 of each set, and here we go. So pulse at the top. Remember that positioning we did for your back. So we're pulsing small ones at the top for 5, and then full range of motion here all the way up. And then we're going to 10. So 10 pulses. And we're just gonna keep counting up, see how high we can go. And remember, I'll do that little protection of the back. So it's a tuck up under and a pelvic tilt, a squeeze of the glutes. So you get those pulses in, and then full range of motion. Reset yourself and make sure you're protecting that back. Heels are down, balls of the feet are down. You're pressing into those legs, and they're super close, so the ankles are right under the knees. After you did 10, you're going to 15, then 20. So count yourself out as best you can, adding 5 reps each time. You should have a glute burn by now. It's okay if you don't, especially if you don't have a weight, you might not have the burn just yet. But if you have a good weight on your hips, you should be feeling that burn, especially after this awesome leg day workout that we just did. Way to work, everybody, way to work. So we're doing those pulses and then full range of motion. Glute burn is great. It's a big set of muscles back there. We want to challenge them all as much as possible. So you're gonna feel the burn, and then right when we stop is when you're gonna feel that burn subside. So don't worry so much about the burn. Keep moving if you can. We are down to 1 minute and 25 seconds left. Keep it up here, keep it up. See how high you can get with those counts. Try to make sure the hips aren't dipping lower. If you started off higher and now this is your top, try to go back to what the top is. But again, watch out for that low back. We're being cautious of ourselves. So we want to make sure we tuck up under and squeeze and then lift. That's going to help protect that low back. We're not pushing our hips up too high. Ooh, get those pulses. And then get that full range of motion. Make sure you're not sliding. I think I was sliding back up there. Pressing into that whole foot, especially through the heel. Nice. Alrighty, we're down to it. We're down to 40 seconds, 40. Ooh, good. Keep that challenge level up, squeezing the glutes. We got a good burn going. If your low back's a little tender, take the weight out of it, and then make sure you're watching yourself. Tuck up under, and then lift. Don't overextend super high there. You'll notice when you do that, when you feel a little too congested in here, and you'll feel you're pulling the low back there. So getting those pulses in, and then full range of motion. You're gonna be able to get a higher count if you don't have that weight on your hips. You got the last few seconds right here. Let's go all the way. Whoo! All right, right when we stop, we feel the burn subside, right? Whoo! All right, go team. Let's get a couple stretches in right here before we send you on your merry way. All right, while we're here, let's go ahead and draw in the right knee towards the right shoulder. You're keeping everything else nice and neutral here. If you can't draw it in that close, that's okay. If you get a good stretch here, that's fine. Nice. Regulate your breathing a little bit more here. Feeling that heartbeat nice and strong, coming down. Way to go, boot campers. Whether this is your first workout with us or your 100th, your 500th, whatever it is, you are a boot camper now. You did one or more than one. Good for you. All right, now let's take that right ankle and put it below that right knee, and then you can draw in that left heel. You could even add a little pressure without kind of twisting your body. Keep your tailbone nice and flat and down. And then add a little pressure if you like, if that feels good on your hip. Otherwise, if this stretch is enough for you to feel a good stretch in that hip, then you can keep it there. Alrighty, we're gonna get the other side, and I do encourage you to do a couple more stretches after this. Let's go ahead and extend that right leg now. Now you're gonna draw in your your left knee towards your left shoulder. So we got one more stretch after this that we're gonna do together, and I do encourage you to do at least a few more stretches on your own after we challenge our big awesome powerhouse leg muscles, we definitely need to stretch. It's going to reduce your soreness and also tell your body, hey, I know we just did some activity, but I am going to take care of you after that activity. And then your body responds with, okay, great, I'm gonna continue to build muscles for you and be nice and limber and ready, even more ready for the next time. So have a nice communication system with your body. Give it some stretches. Most people don't warm up or stretch out and cool down enough. So now we switch to left ankle just below the right knee, and you can add a little pressure to that left leg if you like, or you can leave it there if that's enough for you. Good workout today, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I had fun. Hopefully you either tried something new today in our workout or maybe found out something cool about yourself, or even if it was something a little bit tougher to swallow, you're finding out how something feels. You were learning about yourself, so that's great. Always a good thing to do. Alrighty, we will see you soon for your next amazing workout.